You have not because you ask not. Y'all ain't never asked God, could you be rich? Most people ain't rich today because you ain't never asked God, could you be rich? I asked God every day when I was homeless. At the lowest point of my life, I asked God every day, could I be rich? You know why? Because I had it up to here with being poor. I lived in a car, dog. I ain't had no backyard. I ain't had no TV. I ain't had no phone. I ain't got no bathroom. I ain't got no sink. I asked God every day, could I be rich? So I cut a deal with him. I told God, if you let me make it, when I get there, every chance I get, I'm going to tell everybody it was you. Here I am. And it was him. It was him. Now you got another route you want to take, go ahead. See, the thing about having faith is, you don't need nobody's permission. You don't have to take out a loan. You don't have to get accepted into the course. You can start your faith today. You can start your walk with God today. You ain't got to clear it with nobody. There's plenty of openings. He's available. All you got to do is go. If you would only ask. Well, Steve, what do I ask for? Everything. You want a relationship with God where God is not only your king, he's your companion, he's your guide, he's your friend. You know how you can tell your friend anything? That's the relationship he's looking for. You got to have that, man. Listen to me. When you ask God for something, it's a very simple thing. You know how I acquired a lot of stuff was because of the second scripture I'm going to tell you about. See, you have not because you ask not. You got to start asking God for big stuff. Stop wasting God's time with all this little stuff. Lord, help me make my rent. Don't he always? You keep coming up with the rent. Lord, help me make my rent. You keep coming up with it. Has it ever occurred to you that maybe you should ask God for a mortgage? You ever thought of that? I mean, look, man, if God gonna give you the money for rent and he rewards you according to your faith, if you quit asking for rent and ask for mortgage, you don't think God got mortgage money? But you know why you don't ask God for the mortgage? Because you keep getting in the way. It says you have not because you ask not. But you say, well, I don't have a job that dictates I would afford a mortgage. I don't make enough money. I got bad credit. You think God don't know that? He said ask. You have not because you ask not. So you rule yourself out of the mortgage simply because you won't ask. Just go ahead and ask God for the house. You think God don't know you need a better job? You block your own blessing because you get in the way of the answer. God don't need you in the way, man. I'm telling you real. Just ask God for big stuff. Lord Jesus, help me get out of debt in 7 years. What? You told God to get you out of debt in 7 years because you was watching TV and they got a DVD for $39.95. Get out of debt in 7 years. Why would you ask God to get you out of debt in 7 years? Who you think you're talking to? Ain't this the same God that made heaven and earth in 6 days? Why would it take him 7 years to get you out of debt?
Ask for what God promised you. The medical report may not look good. That's okay. There's another report. God, you said you would restore health back into me. You said the number of my days you will fulfill. Maybe you've gone through a disappointment, a bad break. Don't pray, God help me to deal with this loneliness. God help me to put up with this depression. That's a slave mentality. Turn it around. God, you said you would give me beauty for these ashes, joy for this morning, that you would pay me back double for this unfair situation. Or your dream may look impossible. You don't see how it could work out. God, you said your blessings would chase me down, that I'm surrounded by favor, that goodness and mercy are following me, that you would give me the desires of my heart. Take the limits off of God and ask big, not from a slave mentality, not a limited mindset. Don't ask God to help you function better in your dysfunction. Ask Him for your dreams. Ask Him for new levels. Ask Him for explosive blessings. Ask Him to propel you into your purpose. When you ask big, God calls that a healthy prayer. That's when He says to the angels, go to work. Release my favor. Loose those chains. Open up some new doors. Well, Joel, I'm just praying that I'll make it through this tough times. Business is really slow. Can I say this respectfully? That's a sick prayer. That prayer has the flu. That prayer is depressed. But I'm just praying that I'll learn how to manage this addiction. Grandmother had it. Mother had it. Now I do too. That's a weak prayer. Your attitude should be, God, this addiction keeps getting passed down in my family line, but I believe this is a new day, that you've raised me up to put a stop to it, that I will be the one to break the generational curse and start the generational blessing. Don't ask to become a better slave. Ask to be the difference maker. Ask to set a new standard. When you say, God, help me to get that scholarship so I can go to college. That's not just being hopeful, just being positive. That's your faith being released. That's what allows God to do great things. Or God, I don't have the funds for the building project just yet. But Lord, I want to thank you that opportunity is headed my way, that blessings are chasing me down. No more sick prayers. Take the limits off of God. Ask big. This is the year for God to show out in your life, to accelerate His goodness, to propel you into your destiny. You may have plenty of reasons to settle where you are. What you didn't get, what people said, how impossible it looks. The odds may be against you, but the good news is God is for you. He is more powerful than any force that's trying to stop you. He knows how to make up for what you didn't get. He can thrust you further than you ever imagined. But you have to do like Jabez and pray bold prayers. Ask in spite of what the circumstances look like. Ask in spite of what people are telling you. Ask in spite of what the enemy keeps whispering in your ear. What's interesting, all of the big things I've ever asked for, I've never once felt like God has said, Joel, you got a lot of nerve, man. What are you doing asking for that? Just the opposite. Down here, I can feel God whispering, Joel, I love the fact that you dare to ask big. I love the fact that you believe that I can do the impossible. And of course, everything I've asked for hasn't come to pass, but the point is, if you'll go to God with childlike faith, believing that it's your birthday, asking for things that you wouldn't normally ask for, there will be times that you see God show out in your life in ways greater than you ever imagined.